Hey everybody, what's up? I am NICO. This is X is for Show. We are here talking about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7, Episodes 1, 2. We're kicking it off with a lot of girls. I want to start with, how do you guys feel about the cow? First things first. It was great to see Michelle again. I'm kidding. I love her. But how do you guys feel about the cow? I'm just disappointed it went away right away.
I hope it comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very fascinated that they made the girls declare their own selves, and B that it just disappeared after the first one. I would have stuck it around for at least a couple more, where it would actually be a thing, and to cut it so quickly, I don't know. That feels interesting.
Something I said to Tori was it just felt like a very odd coincidence that we had the golden cow in UK, and then in US last season we had the levers, and what they resulted in is a thing that they like to do anyway, which is not send anybody home in the first episode or the first couple episodes. But now there's this hint of, it might not happen, except if in the first episode it always happens. It just sort of feels like, and I think one way to inoculate against that is to bring it back. Because I think you work it out from there. I think the odds are pretty unlikely that the second time around, or if you left it just a chance, it would save a girl very often. But yeah, it just, I don't know, weird little gimmicks like that, when they don't feel authentic, start us off on a weird note. And I would have been perfectly happy just to have them have a elimination-free episode.
Jonah, where are you at with the cow?
Right.
Well, it's not like they use this in the giant part of the marketing of, oh my god, the lucky cow twist, the season about the cow, year of the cow, Tauruses only.
And this
season 16 with Immunity, where it's in every single marketing season 16. Immunity is back when it really kind of wasn't. So I don't mind it. It was cute. It was a fun little thing. I think they're just trying to mix up and just have fun. And at this point, let them have fun. Let them do whatever they want. I think that's really what it, at the end of the day is. It doesn't hurt anybody. Is it silly? Yes. Is it enjoyable? Also, yes. To give a girl a sash that says "best cow" or whatever it said.
Love it.
It's very funny. So I think
maybe this is going to be their new pork chop. Maybe the lucky cow is the new pork chop for the UK.
Well, as Nico pointed out to me, that makes pasty the UK Hormona Lisa.
It does.
Good, and that's interesting too. That is also an interesting element of it, where this girl ended up going home anyway. She's still the first out. So, like TK was saying, what did this even do? Why wasn't it just nobody goes home? And it makes it feel weird.
Yeah. And like the other thing for me with this season kickoff right away, like I loved the idea that we got to save Pasty, because I think she's really cute, and I really liked giving her another week. That was really fun. I felt like the girls all kind of walked in like hell on wheels this season. Like everybody kind of walked in like, this is why I'm already famous and I don't need this show. This is why I'm more famous than you and I've never heard of you.
Yeah.
This is why I'm literally here to win and you're all here to be the filler queens. And like I was watching a little bit of further coverage about evidently the Bob and Monet Aura Maori drama came back up recently, and one of the things that Aura really said repeatedly was, okay, but end of the day, you would think that the girls on the show would know that that's some of it's being taken out of context. Some of it's I'm being put in a position that's not who I am. I was literally told to kiss my biceps over and over again. They literally told me to do it every confessional. And like, I can give that a total yes, but these girls are saying this in the room. These girls are walking in and saying it in the room to each other. And so like, I think they're all a lot of fun, but this season definitely has some look at her energy, like right away.
It's so interesting because the energy that I've been picking up is, we have smart queens this season. Like, I very firmly believe that most of these girls can count past 8. Like, they're like, I feel like this was an extremely good design challenge. Like, this feels like a lot of these girls can sew. This feels like a lot of them could put an outfit together. This feels like a lot of them understand construction. I think we have some real like thinkers here, which is why the drama is very nuanced and specific and like a hairline of a problem, because that's what sets them off. They're not going to get bothered by goofy ditzy shit. They're going to get bothered when someone's like, well, I just don't think your taste level's as good as you think it is. And that's that gets in there.
And I will say a bunch of the incidents that occurred where somebody was like, I'm really famous, happened in the context of them going, I've never heard of you, but you've heard of me. And so there is this slightly...
This one?
Yeah, there's this slightly...
This one in particular.
There's this slight balance to it where there is a set of girls who sort of seem to be coming in a little earnest, a little sweet, a little like tentative, and then that energy is sort of getting really paved over by a lot of queens being, listing their credentials, which is fine. I mean, they're great credentials, and you have every reason to be proud. It just is creating an interesting energy, an energy that we have, I think, not really seen at this level and like sort of boiling throughout, especially the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. And I just also want to throw out there, Andrew, yes, Aura is many things, including trade.
Yeah.
And I also think that Terrace is gorgeous this season. There's a lot of unbelievable beauty in and out of drag this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is tall twink central in here. It really is, which is
yes.
unusual, sort of for UK. The UK prefers its hobbit size.
Well, I think half of these girls are from the Kate Butch universe, and the other half are from the Crystal Versace universe.
Yes,
and they're like, we have. I wonder if they're trying to recreate season 7 US camp queens versus fashion queens, and it didn't work out on season 7, and I don't know if that's what they're gonna do here.
Also, I feel like one of the things that we are getting from the kind of diversity that you're bringing up with Kate, Kate funny girls, and then, Crystal fashion girls, is there's a lot of other talent here too. Mm-hmm. A lot of like musical talent, theater talent, comedy talent. There's like a lot of big names in terms of what they do that I think is this feels a little bit more like a season where we can we're going to be able to, I think, identify each one of these girls by what they do really well.
Mm-hmm.
And so often it's like you were saying, Tori, it involves like big drama, whereas this would be little drama, and instead it's about the girls. And I think that's going to be really interesting.
I am very fascinated by that, because it feels like we have a lot of girls with a lot of talent here, and then they chose not to do the talent show first, which they've done for the past couple of years. To me, that sort of feels like when I clocked that Sasha Colby's season had the Snatch Game very, very early. It feels like the winner that they think they might want is not one of those queens who has a talent that would shine in a talent show. We need to hold that for later, where we've built up storylines for these girls and we can judge based on that versus strictly what you bring to the field.
And I also want to say, in terms of bringing it to the field, I also agree with Andrew. It is so wonderful to see non-binary and trans queens this season. We definitely need us some dolls.
And I was going to bring that up in a different context, because talking about everybody sort of coming in, talking about how they're booked, and also talking a lot about their talents, like the things that they do well and that they're going to bring. I was a little disappointed that the show chose to edit Nyong Bella basically saying, like, I don't do any of that stuff, only because, again, it was an energy thing. Like, it just sort of made it seem like she was putting herself down, or like the show was saying, look at this girl who doesn't have what the others have. And the balance of that is, I thought throughout the last 2 episodes, she has shown so much personality. And she has that Adore Delano quality where I think she's somebody you just kind of love to watch a little bit. I hope that she finds avenues to show the talents that she does have. And I imagine that a lot of the things that she said she doesn't do are things that she'll be great at if given the opportunity to do them. I just thought I was really noticing how people were talking about all the stuff that they do. And then they specifically gave her this clip being like, I don't dance, I don't sing. And I just thought like they didn't have to put that in.
No.
And anyway, I love her and I'm rooting for her.
I want to bring a point to Tori that the reason why they don't start with the talent show is they've never started with the talent show for start on UK. It's always been some kind of look challenge where one look will be some kind of prompt and the other will always be show us your hometown realness. And so I think part of the reason why they do this is they understand the international market of this season, and it is the most successful international show after the US. So I think that a lot of what they're trying to do is give people the chance to talk about where they come from, what's going on there, what their culture is like, what's the big things from where they're from. Because in my ignorant US ass, I have no idea about many of these towns except for a few that I have visited or do know about by myself. But it's weird because they don't do this on other international seasons, and I would love for them to do that. Like on Down Under Canada, I think they did it on Canada. But like I would prefer something like this. Now you don't have to do it the first challenge every single time, but maybe like the first or second or third week, have it be like your hometown look or whatever, and give people a chance to like talk about and boast about the town that they come from that they might love so much. I appreciate they were trying to do something different. Nothing will beat Tickety Boo. And I felt bad for every single girl who was not being interviewed by Marina, because none of the other girls were really kind of giving it in a way where I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they were like soft rebelling because they were contractually obligated to be there on top of having to do DragCon UK.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were just mad. I don't know if someone threw a fit. I don't know what was going on.
It's funny because as soon as they said this is what they were doing, I really liked this challenge. I thought the idea of it seemed really cool to me because it's a chance to give a look. It's a chance to give just personality in a way that, again, it doesn't require you have to risk putting yourself out there for talent. You get a sort of softball to show who you are and not have to immediately start with something really risky, like, for instance, singing and playing an instrument when everybody else is just going to do a number, and then you seem like you're kind of underwhelming, even though you're showing so much skill having learned those things. In this case, everybody's on the equal playing field of, can I walk a little runway, and then can I talk a little talk?
Well, she played an instrument, so you're not being very fair.
You're right. I take this all back.
Well done, KEVO.
Ruined. Marina wasn't the only good one. I think just notably plain was very difficult. And
needlessly shocked.
Yeah, 100% needlessly difficult. Like I thought Angeria also was really fantastic.
Yeah.
But it was also a really perfect storm because Tayrus's approach was bad.
Yes.
Tayrus just took the wrong approach. But again, like that didn't have to be a huge deal because this is a kind of a softball thing. Somebody is going to be in the bottom. It's Drag Race. But it can work. This can be a moment for everybody. And unfortunately, Jane was notably difficult because, of course, she's playing Jane. But some people were able to work with her difficulty and be funny. Like I said, it just for Tayrus especially, it really was a bad match. And on top of that, I think she just didn't quite have the right angle to be doing this, and so it just came off really bad.
I just want to take a second, real quick.
And
hey, young Bella.
I want to preface this with one time I got punked by Nico's friend Matt Doyle, who was not the Broadway Matt Doyle. So we're taking it on faith. This is Pillow Nyong Bella.
We love you. We love your work. We love you and your work.
Absolutely.
And I get that. It really makes. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and I even appreciate that perspective because you're right. Because in the last season, they did start with a talent show, and that's where we got the great numbers by Lavoie, by Kyron. By Marmalade, Lil, like there were so many great performances there that I even fully understand. Like, you guys are getting there and you're like, oh, it's what they're going to do. It's what they did last year. And I would have loved to see what everybody would have done for a talent show. So we so appreciate that insight that this might have even thrown some of you girls off because it's not what you were expecting.
And I think for me, part of what made this so difficult is I feel perhaps probably an amount of unpreparedness, because we know that they just love to throw these girls in here without even giving them cue cards. But also, I think it felt like watching it was hard to tell what they were looking for. Are you looking for a serious answer, like about how someone only has the lower 50% of their vision? Are you looking for funny answers? Are you looking for crass answers? Like, what was that? Well, I stand and deliver. What does I shat myself? Euphemism. Like, it's tough to know.
Yeah.
And if you give the wrong answer to the wrong girl at the wrong time, it's just going to fall flat. And I think it is partly a cultural barrier of
on top of that, the answer to the girl could go wrong and then the joke could go flat. But then sometimes they would cut to Ru and Michelle and Alan being really miserable about the answer. And it was just like, inevitably it was a Ru thing where she's like, I don't know that reference. It's like, yeah, girl, because you're not from here and you choose not to learn. So now you're the one that's bringing down the mood. Because Michelle got the shit thing. Ru didn't get it.
Yeah.
Because Michelle is like, she's really a UK girl.
Yeah, she's an Anglophile.
She's from the Garden State Parkway and Downing Street.
That's always the thing with the seasons that Ru does, where she's like, yeah, I'll tank somebody's joke just because I personally do not get it because I don't know about this culture. And it's just not always my favorite angle to take.
I actually would love to use this as an opportunity to also like highlight some of the stuff that I love that the girls did. In these 2 episodes, something the girls shined at was each one of these girls had a perspective in each challenge. Now, I sometimes didn't like it. The Cyndi Lauper look for me was like very opposite of couture. Like, couture literally means one of a kind, handmade, high art, pushing fashion. It's a big idea. And she literally looked like somebody purposely looking like someone from years earlier. Cyndi Lauper channeled grandma dresses. So Cyndi Lauper is like very cool, very fashion, and very amazing, but the opposite of couture. And so I really didn't understand some of the judging in that regard, but it didn't matter because the assignment was still done well. It just wasn't necessarily what I thought was the assignment. So like, this is a season where the talent is so strong, even if you don't like it, you still have to kind of go, good talent.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying this is one of the strongest design challenges that we've seen. There were a lot of the safe dresses on this that would have won or been high in even in US seasons and in any other season. This was quite impressive. Quite impressive.
Oh, honestly, truly, this is like a breath of fresh air of how like well everybody actually did. Like, even the people on the bottom probably could have been safe in a lot of other scenes. We've seen a lot of looks way worse than these bottom 3 looks, which I don't think are the worst things in the world I've seen. They actually do look quite nice, so I appreciate all of them. Kudos to all the girls for all the work they did.
All 3 girls have a problem with legs.
We've seen worse looks on Project Runway. Those are professional designers. So you know what? If this is the look you go out on,
I'd be the same amount of time.
Yeah.
No, they got longer here.
And but like, I mean, for someone for a first jumpsuit, hey man, it fits mostly.
It looks great. I mean, if I didn't notice the knees until they pointed it out, but like, they had to point it out.
Yeah.
I mean, we could see it here because now we're looking for it. But like,
something I was really fascinated by, a point of critique that I was expecting that was virtually not there, and I think it's better that it wasn't, but because it was taken from materials from previous Drag Race seasons, my expectation was that they were going to get critiques about referencing the items that were used in the season that they came from and having stuff in there about that. And as everything came down, I actually initially was like, they're all in trouble because these are like, they've transformed everything they found and it has like essentially nothing to do with where it came from. Like, nothing is a reference. And ultimately I'm glad that wasn't a factor, because I think it could have been one of those things where you go, it just becomes an excuse to be able to tell somebody who looks fantastic that they're in the bottom because they missed this like stupid reference point. But it also became a thing where really looking at the looks, on top of the fact that they were all fantastic, I really was shocked at how they transformed the reference pieces.
Yeah, the transformation was one of the things that I thought was the best, where that was something that maybe threw you off a little bit. Terrace, I love you. I don't like this.
Oh my God, I really liked it.
I like how she wears it. I like her energy. I like that this looks like it could be superhero costume. It could be club kid realness, or it could just be fashion daring. The material doesn't look right on the runway for me. It winds up looking, unfortunately, less expensive than I'm sure it was. Or at least was meant to. I love her energy selling it, and I love the accessorizing. The black shoes are such an important touch, which ties into the darkness of her hair, and it creates this beautiful full circle image. I just think it winds up looking... And so I was in a group in high school in a thing called Odyssey of the Mind, OM, which I guess you could say, Kevo, that I was oming. But the OM was this thing where you would be given a complex problem. You were literally given a drag race challenge. It would be, you have 2 weeks to create, you had like 2 months, but to create a 6-minute skit where you make all of the costumes, make all of the sets, you write the skit, you create the music, you put it together, you tell them when to do the lighting, you put together a little theatrical performance, or you had to design a vehicle. And it literally had to be, you bought the parts and you wired it, and I made a vehicle one year. And like, there were things that we did where my high school friends could not have done it at this level. I'm not joking about that. But that material looks like the kind of material we used in high school. And that's where I feel like the outfit doesn't translate well on the stage for me.
I appreciate the really big thing for me that you just said was it's a really club kid look.
Yeah.
And that is, you're 100% right. That's why I immediately jumped to defend it, because I love club kids and I love that. That's 100% what it is. And that could be okay for a challenge period, like a challenge where a club kid look is called for, that probably could have won.
Yeah, exactly.
And it didn't even need to be super low for this challenge, except for the fact that it was such an obscure... I love that for her, it was a reference. She loves the pufferfish at the aquarium, but Alan didn't get it. Alan, who is British, didn't get it. It was a reference that wasn't... It was her experience of the Brighton that she lives in, but it wasn't iconic and emblematic of Brighton. So I definitely I understood, but I really loved it, and you explained exactly why I really loved it.
I think she looks like Bowser's biological daughter, and she's like a fashion model.
Yes,
that's what she looks like.
I mean, that's Wendy, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, Wendy's
my pufferfish girl.
Bowser's biological daughter that was retconned to where he adopted all the Koopalings, but his only actual canonic child is Bowser Jr., who replaced Koopa Kid. Anyway,
we can do this when the Super Mario movie comes out in April. We'll do another Super Mario broadcast.
Jonah, that is the most you've turned me on all day. That was amazing.
And in a way, I don't even know if I wanted to resonate more with this premiere episode, but I don't even think it's any of the girls' fault. I thought everybody was charming. I like everybody this season.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time with all of them, and I don't really kind of want anybody to go.
Ever.
So I just feel bad
because in this episode nobody did.
Yes, which is true.
Well, and I think it's also I also enjoyed everyone from last season as well in the first couple of episodes. Yes. I was like, all these gals are great. I can't wait to keep them around. But it feels very different because I feel like I'm still getting a couple of these girls swapped in my brain. A few of them, particularly when they're
half of them are Kate Bush and the other half are Crystal Versace. So
right, exactly. So I'm sitting here being like, oh, is this Celexa? Is this Bones? Is this Viola?
Oh, no, I can always tell you exactly who Celexa is, in or out of drag. Not a problem. Please don't worry. If you ever need me to point him out, I can point him or her out. I'm ready to go. I can tell you what he looks like or she looks like. Let's go.
Wow.
I was very
of
happy.
All of them, it would not have been Celexa that I would have guessed for that. I love when you surprise me, Nico. I truly do.
Meanwhile, I'm over here being like, Viola is a problematic fave, but she's my problematic fave now.
But what I love about the second episode and why I think it really did so well for at least my enjoyment of the season so far is we're starting off with the challenge. Well, we start off with a very fun mini challenge, which they're just doing traders. Everybody's in the worst wig in the entire world, and it makes me so happy. I love seeing people in those wigs. They bring me so much joy. But what I loved about it is what I love about design challenges. There's very little production can do to sway or put anything in any sort of way. Everybody got fabric. And you had a whole table that you had to share with one other person, and you two can split the fabric easily. And everybody had workable fabric. You know, they maybe had some harder ones to work with. As Viola pointed out, sequins is not a very easy fabric. Pre-sequin fabric is not easy to sew with. It's a bitcharoonie and a half, if you will. But I love a design challenge because it really is up to the skill of the girls to be able to this was so good.
Perfection.
Hold on. Pivot to Bella writing Sam.
Oh my god.
RuPaul is going, who the hell is Sam?
This
RuPaul, how dare you?
What
You have
Tori
never
was
remembered
talking
one of
about.
these girls' names, and you're acting like it's weird that somebody else is doing it.
But this is what Tori means. Even when you're in it, it's hard to remember everyone's names.
Yeah.
There's always so many girls at the beginning of the season.
Oh,
That was also-
I always have the wiki pulled up for our first 5 episodes.
That was
Yeah,
also
and this
the
is
most
so
traders.
too.
But that's the thing. This is so traders accurate. You always have to put someone's name wrong on the card in traders.
Yep.
It's not an episode of Traders if John doesn't misspell your name.
Someone should have put TARDIS for Terrace.
Oh my
This is a great moment. But design challenges are really always up to all of the people competing, and I enjoy that because it is up to all of their skills. And it's a skill that they always ask on Drag Race. They do cast people that aren't the best sewers because they need people to like not be the best or surprise them if they're able to pull something out. I do love that. First off, can we hold on? Can we talk about the significance of Bonnie and Clyde being on this as the first?
Let's talk about it because it's something I brought up on our last UK season where I was like, what do you mean we haven't let Ireland in the chat yet?
Well, there were those troubles.
There were.
As an Irishman, as my good Irish mama, she works so hard to be a good Irish mama and take care of her Greek and Cuban family. But my Irish mama, of course we were very raised in a Sunday Bloody Sunday kind of, it's really funny because the Corrs being such a big Irish band, and then the thing that guy's crazy about is actually 9/11 conspiracies. Anyway, I do feel like Ireland winds up getting treated so poorly, and thank you. And
We'll talk about 9/11.
I just, oh man. So Ireland, I'm so glad to have you here. I love you. And it's really important that we are not making too much joke. The joke is that not at the expense of 9/11. We're not comedians. So
no, I was quoting Mariah.
Oh no, I was being mean spirited about a topic that I just think is.
I don't think it's mean-spirited. It's just accurate. This is one of those things, though. This is such a World of Wonder Drag Race thing where we're on season 7 and there's never been an Irish queen, and then there just is one, and there's a little bit of like, oh, first time, this is so great, but like the show chooses to just completely divert the river around talking about why that might have been the case, how it maybe was a failing of production, any number of things that they might have said just to be like, we take these issues seriously. We saw so much of that when we started getting trans contestants on US Drag Race, especially because RuPaul had some snafus with how she talked about that, and it would have been really easy to say just something to say, things change and we want to make sure that we are always reevaluating and we're doing something really important this year. And it really, to me, has always felt like the higher ups at World of Wonder really just never want to have said, we messed up. Right. And so even when they rectify a mistake or, change a pattern that really is not cute, they just do it. And then, hope nobody stops and talks about it for too long. Not my favorite thing that they do. Happy that we're seeing things change.
And it's entirely possible that it's just it's a visa thing that they're not.
Yeah, sure.
fully part of the EU and Ireland is, and so it's a visa thing and whatever. And we could find out that they moved to the UK and like have citizenship or whatever, like doubled up like that, and that could be the reason of. But I think that they should say something like that, because I think it's one of those things where if you know, you know. And we also do have a Belfast girl here who is also, if you know, you know about it. Like they're both kind of just like staring at each other, being like, which one of us is going to crack and talk about it first?
Yeah.
Because whichever one starts that conversation is probably going to get more sympathy, depending on how it starts.
It's a real Hobby Lobby Elgin Marble situation.
Yes. Yes.
So, and that was me being incredibly stupid on purpose. Rue would laugh.
Part of the reason why I wanted to bring up Bonnie and Clyde is because, one, I think she's great. Two, it's the fact that she was talking about last season's contestant Chanel O'Connor, who is a great seamstress, and saying like I've been getting sewing lessons from great Chanel O'Connor from last season, and Rue had like no reaction whatsoever. And I felt so bad. Like, didn't react. We moved past it. No, like nothing about it. I also love Bonnie and Clyde because out of drag she looks nothing like her, but in drag she kind of looks like Acacia Forgot.
Kinda.
And exactly. I was like, that's what this is. Blah blah blah. Like no one has a owning of any kind of makeup or anything like that. More so, just like, oh, it's funny how they have similar painting styles and it leads to a similar face.
But especially with Bonnie and Clyde having such a Western Americanized concept, Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah. Like, so it's so funny that she's connectable to a Texas queen or a Southern queen.
My favorite look, the well-deserved winner of this episode. My goodness gracious, Sam TM. I don't even like. Every time I look at this, I'm just kind of a little bit blown away of like how well this is, how well made that is, and B, like the aesthetic, like styling of everything she did, from the two pastels looking beautiful together to the polka dot, that like everything about this is just mind-boggling, like so well put together. I'm like blown away at her ability to create an aesthetic.
Sally TM, the fashion Pokemon. Like, I mean, really, like there was a series of Little Debbie Barbies for a couple of years where if you like sent in Little Debbie UPCs, you could get official, authentic Little Debbie Barbies. That looks like all of them together. I think it is so incredible. I think it is one of the most fabulous things I've ever seen on the runway. I actually don't. I think it's Bones is in the sculpted piece on the other end.
The yoga mat all the way to the left.
Yes, also excellent.
I don't like it. I think it's great, and I'm really impressed with it. But I think what I don't like about it is it's literally, for me, if she had a big stomach, you would absolutely not put her in the top. Not you, but like Rue. If she was not a fit girl. And so this is an outfit that is very cool that she has the body for, and I'm really happy for it. But the fact that if somebody else with a different body wore this same thing, they would essentially be, if not fat shamed, fat ignored. And I feel like there is an ableism and a sizeism that we enable smaller girls to utilize from Rue, that we've got to stop rewarding things that only skinny little girls can wear, because otherwise then that tells the big girls they don't belong here.
Because who is the only other person who has ever pulled off a look like this?
Oh, Aquaria.
Thank you. Season 10. And listen, the one thing I will say is I appreciated Bones's idea that she is not a seamstress. You should not come into this trying to do a thing that you can't do at a level you can't do it. What she knew she could do was create that thing, and put it. It's not really her fault.
No.
And and more than that, I really appreciated that she was smart enough to pull the "I'm not a seamstress and therefore I shall do this" card, rather than the "I'm not a seamstress and therefore I'm going to lose." But I think you're 100% right that this would not be a look that was seen as even good if a different body type had worn it. And I think that's just, it's very notable. And I don't even think it's wrong for the judges to talk about, like, you're very privileged to have a body where you can come out in something like that, and you look great in it. But we all judge these things a certain way, and sometimes it can be very, even if like we say that the judges are going to be totally kind no matter what, it's a lot scarier to come out in an outfit like that if you don't have Bones' body type.
Yes, and I just want to say, Andrew, I don't think this is, I hope I'm not offending anybody, but I would say that Lawrence Chaney winning UK season 2 is plus size-ish. He's not a skinny girl. But yeah, and it's just like, it's just that I think there are so many other body types that are so handsome and so sexy and so beautiful and so lovely. And if we were at a place where I thought that we could have like a tummy bear in the pit crew, like a good furry tummy muscle bear, right? Like an off-season bodybuilder even. Yeah. But
and I'm trying to think of even not runways, but like moments where large, relatively naked bodies have been seen, and the only one that really comes to mind is Eureka as the big baby, where it's a joke.
Eureka as the big baby is a joke. Ginger in the eggs is another one. I would say that my big thing for it is that they allow the skinny queens to go uncorseted when they're doing this, and you can't catch a bigger queen uncorseted. And so that, of course, minimizes what kind of things you can put on your body to be able to be seen. And I think that is one of those things that we're not really talking about do you need tits and padding to do drag anymore, but it is something where you are not going to have a bigger queen be without padding or some form of breast or bib, because it's the proportions that they have to provide to even be considered at that level.
Yeah.
What I will say about Bones, I love the idea of it kind of like her going with like a doll aesthetic. I think the paper doll aesthetic is great. I think what she made, remarkably crafty, like looks very well made. I love the idea of a bow, a giant bow as a top. I would have loved it more if instead of a panty, it was just like a simple cute skirt. Just a simple cute skirt is all you would need, and I think like we wouldn't even really be having this conversation.
Agreed.
Like if she was just able to take parts of the yoga mat and just make it circular and just have that be just her skirt. It could be pencil, it could be, you could have a little bit wider, whatever her aesthetic is. I think I would have been like, oh, that it's like so like I love it. I will say about this, she went the extra mile a little bit because she made this an unconventional material challenge when she didn't necessarily have to.
Yeah.
Everybody had
a great job
to work with. She chose to use the yoga mat, which I think is another point in her favor. I am of the mindset, we go back to season 6 when Courtney Act was told you can't rely on your body. Stop relying on that body. And I think it should be twofold. If people have a body that they find beautiful and they want to show it off, and it is a little more conventional, what people conventionally would find attractive, I say let them do it. Let them be sexy. Let them wear it. Let them do what they want. People can do. Let them feel their oats. But on the other hand, I think instead of trying to dim other lights, let's make sure the light is being shown everywhere.
Yes.
Let's celebrate all body sizes and showing what all kinds of sexy looks like across all body shapes. I think that's what we should be doing. Let's uplift everybody. Let everybody wear whatever they want.
I'll also say, stop relying on that body was a great line, but if she had switched it up and said we need to see more versatility, the thing that Courtney was doing was not really showing a lot of versatility. It was a lot of bra and panty type looks. And so the line is great and can be quoted endlessly, but ultimately what Michelle was saying is like, show us different silhouettes. And that was not Courtney's strongest suit.
No, if they couldn't get her in a suit, that was the problem.
Problemo.
No, I mean, really, end of the day, where I'm coming from on these two challenges is I'm feeling very positive on this group of girls once again, where I'm feeling a little bit of disharmony is in the production editing, putting these girls together. Like I started the episode with, I felt like perhaps the girls were just a little too aggro at the very beginning in selling who they were. But again, that has to do with production behind the scenes, telling them how to come in, cutting in what they wanted. So I do think that this is a lot of very talented girls with a lot of master strokes under their belt. But I really think this is going to be a season of people who are ultimately better remembered for their careers than remembered for Drag Race. I think this is a lot of girls who the show will not find ways to support in this season, and we'll get them in All Starses and Globals and Versus the Worlds, and seeing them on tour and drag cons and TikTok and all the great. But I'm feeling a little like I don't understand the season yet.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. And, you know, immediately as you said that, it starts to raise a broader question for me is if that sort of is what Drag Race is becoming. Not the thing that you watch and that's the thing that makes the girls famous, but the thing that you watch that gives everybody a bunch of tools and avenues to go down where things really start getting interesting. And I don't think that's necessarily great for Drag Race, because things should be getting interesting on Drag Race. And that is, I think, you know, when I talk about how safe they play it and how they're so not willing to risk stuff or rock the boat, you know, to the point where I don't know what was going on with the cow. But again, it just feels like they were trying to have the moment of a chance thing happening while also having the thing of nobody going home, because that's what they ultimately wanted to do. So, you know, if that's where Drag Race is going, it doesn't have to be the worst thing in the world, because I would still tune in to fall in love with people and then go follow them on all the many things that you talked about. Go see the tours, which I love to do. You know, follow the ones that I love on social media. Watch other, you know, watch All Stars is, watch any other show that anybody does. But, you know, that's what that means for Drag Race, the show, is something they got to figure out. But yeah, I really do. This is a bunch that I really love. And I am excited to see where we go.
Tori, what you got for us? Where are you thinking about these UK girls?
Sorry, I'm stuck on the idea that Drag Race is now the making the album so we can sell the concert tours model.
Yeah. That's
so upsetting in so many ways.
Yes.
I'm at the point where, yeah, I'm kind of with you guys on that. It feels like we have some types on this season, but I feel like they are definitely types that I'm very interested in. It should surprise no one that the UK version of drag, that is like what most of them do over there, is built for me. It's campy, it's theatrical, it involves live singing. Like it's a little older. It's built for me. And so I'm always very excited to be here. And I like, even the fashion girls are still quirky enough that I'm just like fascinated by them. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. I'm hoping that we don't get more of what we seem to have a habit of getting in a lot of the UK seasons, which is where our beautiful Black queens are kind of not given as much attention or time. And I think we have some really special ones here that I think deserve a better shot of things than we've seen these types do in the past, I guess is the word.
Yeah, there's certain types of drag that gets a lot more attention depending on the location. So can't wait to talk about Slasian and talk about the incredible different world over there.
Woo.
Where it's a very different Drag Race. Mm-hmm. KEVO, lay it on me, my man. What you got?
You know, it's fun to be back. We spent a little bit of time over in Jersey City. That was Freudian. That was not on purpose. I swear to God, I love Jersey. With Project Runway, we had so much fun. It was great seeing Utica. Ethan developed new skills. It's been so exciting. I'm so glad to be back on Drag Race. I'm excited to get to Slasian. This is certainly an interesting start to a season, but you know, all the Drag Race for the rest of this year is pretty much going to be in anticipation of season 18 of the main show. So I'm mostly just looking forward to stretching our muscles on Drag Race until we can see who we will get there. So definitely stay tuned. We're looking forward to Slation. Whatever else they're going to drop the rest of this year, I don't know if we know anything else that's coming, but there's got to be at least one other show. So we'll see what they send us.
I love it. KEVO, let's go down the line. Let's do sign-off. Start with you. Where can we find you, producer?
You can find me producing over at KEVO Really. That's KEVO
Jonah.
You can find me places online at Keith Jonah.
Tori.
You can find me online at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
TK.
I'm at TK Accidental on Instagram and Blue Sky. Where you at, big man?
NICO Action, NICO. Check out the show. X is for comics, X is for show, X is for podcast, all over the place. X is for, you can't miss it. Do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. It makes it easier for us to keep making art that you guys love and keep interacting with the art that we all already do. But then, if you want to also do 3 things for yourself that we think are pretty cool. Number 1, please stay safe. Crazy world out there. Number 2, please be brave because we love who you are. Number 3, please evolve daily because who you were yesterday, incredible. Who you are today, phenoms. Who you are tomorrow, that's the dream, and we can't wait to be there with you. So until then, you stay the best cow.
Bye.